Well, welcome to the Christmas Pine Barrens hike video. I don't know if we're going to have a nice day, so I figured we'll do one today. And we're at Edgewood Preserve. Again, it's just easy to get to. I like going here. So I don't have to deal with too much nonsense. Lately, when I've been going to Jersey, I've been dealing with a lot of nonsense, so with New Jersey Transit, so don't want to deal with that. I'm going to just take the train here. So, we're going to talk about a couple issues in this video here. This walk and talk video. Holiday walk and talk, I'll call it. Or Christmas walk and talk. I haven't decided on the name yet. But we have to get started with some of the issues that we have to talk about as we walk through here. It starts off on somewhat of a somber note because we lost somebody in the transportation community in that train crash that happened near Seattle. What happened was, on an inaugural run, maiden voyage of a new train route, and the train wound up derailing quite catastrophically because it was going 80 miles an hour when it was supposed to be going 30. We'll find out what the investigation reveals about that, but unfortunately, I'll just put his first name, Zach, who is a friend of my friend, PNW Elevator, who was very involved in the public transportation situation over there in the Seattle, Portland area. And unfortunately, he died in that crash. It was very, very sad. I was surprised myself about it. You know, what are the odds, right? You know, he had an account here on YouTube. I think it was called Bust Dude. I think I'm trying to remember what my friend. He didn't do that many videos on it, but my condolences go out to everybody over there in the Seattle transportation community, of course, as well as Zach's family as well. It's very sad, but I guess we have to look at it this way. He died doing what he loved. He died doing what he loved. You know, you never know when God will take you. You know, I know when my day comes, I know where I want to be, and that's right here in the Pine Barrens. Loss is never an easy thing to deal with, and you know, it's hard. You know, no matter how many times you've been through it. You know, Zach, he was only 35. He's younger than me. Had a long life ahead of him, cut short by this tragic accident. And my mom, she was only 50, and, you know, breast cancer came back. And literally, my mom went from being somewhat normal to dead in a matter of weeks. And this was very rapidly growing cancer. Basically, what happened was, I've told you about it before, but I'll touch on it again. She had a recurrence of metastasis breast. I can't pronounce that word, but she had a recurrence of breast cancer that basically wound up. She had a mastectomy, but the cancer came back where she had a mastectomy, and it spread to her lungs. It spread all over her body, and she just got very weak, and then she passed away. You know, and it happened in maybe a month. Matter of weeks to a month, I think. And it was so fast, you know. People think cancer can be a slow disease, but sometimes it's not. It was a recurrence. She had breast cancer when she was 40, but beat it. And then it came back. So, yeah, sad story, I know. We're in this desert area here. We're into these like sandpit areas, but these desert areas are very much like the kind you'd find in New Jersey. Nothing but pitch pines growing here. And we're going to follow the trail to See where this trail takes us. There was a trail in here. Yeah, it's this way. It's this way. There's some bike trails they put in here, so I don't remember them here. Which is good. This way, there's finally an actual trail to walk on. Yeah, follow this bike trail. There's another trail that goes this way, though. Let's take this one here. Hey, it doesn't feel any more like stepping into Christmas than stepping in here, I'll tell you. Look at these shapes here, man. Got little ones. It's gorgeous. It's nice to finally get a nice blue sky today. It didn't start off that way. We had a lot of contrails, but now it's beautiful. Yeah, a lot of seedlings over here. A lot of seedlings. You can see here. It's an amazing little area. Pitch pines love open spaces. Well, I see a really faint contrail over there, but for the most part, there aren't any contrails. These are some of the shortest days, and the sun is at its lowest angle in the sky now, so. Yeah, we got all these little ones here. Said it's like stepping into Christmas, like that Elton John song. Alright, yeah, they put a new bike trail in here, you can see here. Yeah, so it's a nice new bike trail in here. Looks like they did some southern pine beetle removals here too, which is good. Yeah, this trail's gonna just take us back where we were though. Yeah, we gotta go this way. Pretty much pure pitch pine over here. Entirely pitch pine. There's nothing else growing here, just pitch pines. I have a feeling I'm about to see a witch's broom. I don't know, I feel like I'm about to see one. It's the kind of area they like to grow in. Alright, we'll get back on this path here. Yeah, it was cold last night. You could see a little ice there. You walk around this puddle here. A little bit of ice. But it's warm now. It feels like it's around the low 40s. Oh yeah, toxic Hillary. I love this sign. Sadly, Trump isn't turning it. I mean, Hillary still would have been worse, but Trump isn't turning out to be the president he said he was going to be, that's for sure. Alright, we're in this other area now here. So nice to see some blue sky, man, I'll tell you. So nice. Haven't had enough of that. We never get enough blue sky anymore. It's climate change. When you have a blue sky day, you gotta drop what you're doing and get to the pines. Alright, we are in this desert area, which is almost exactly like being in one of those New Jersey desert-like areas. And got some older, more, you know, classic styles here. The pitch pines. Like that one that you're looking at right ahead there. That's a beauty right there. That's a beauty. Nothing but great shapes here, man, I'll tell you. Nothing but great shapes here. You see how low that sun is. Beautiful shapes here, beautiful. We're by Pilgrim, that's the building over there. And that's part of the reason why I'm so against this. Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to set up and we're going to talk about some issues in just a few. Gorgeous shapes here. We can get another angle on this. Another angle to look at this scene here. Yeah, this is pretty nice too. Very nice. Got a lot of sea beach heather down here, you can see. It is just beautiful. Got that beautiful blue sky. It's about time, I'll tell you. I didn't know if it was gonna turn out so nice, because when I got up this morning, it was a lot of clouds around contrails too. But boy, is it nice now. What a gorgeous afternoon. And there is the Pilgrim building there. It's one of the buildings. And those buildings need to stay open, and I wonder what kind of elevators they have in there, though. That's the thing. It's not like you're going to be allowed to walk in. That's an inpatient facility. I don't know. I got a feeling that Westinghouse... Yeah, I don't film too many elevators anymore. Trust me, I do miss it. But yeah, I'll talk about that when we talk in a minute here. Just show you one more area, and then we're going to talk. Yeah, I just put it in a different color setting there for a moment, so it might have looked a little different. Well, white balance, actually, because problem with these CMOS sensors, they're too cool. Like, the pines have like a yellow tone, but it looks too greenish in this video, probably. So that is a fault of the... I don't know what it is. CCDs have no problem with that, but the CMOS sensors just have some U problems. U as in H-U-E problems, where the U is off. On some of these photos, not some of the videos, compared to the CCD. But CCDs cannot take video in full high definition. I don't think there are any that do. Most just stop at 720. They don't do full high definition. They're great for still daylight photos, but not so great for video. That's the thing. That's where CCD falls short. Alright, so I'll talk to you for a little bit here on this beautiful afternoon here. Beautiful afternoon here in the Pine Barrens, and I wanted to talk a little bit about fate, Fate is something that kind of, when you think about it, it's one of those things that just makes your mind just kind of go nuts in a way, Your mind just kind of just think about all the different possibilities that can happen in life, and, I could have been stuck in Westbury. There's so many different things that could have happened that didn't, this Christmas is the best Christmas gift of all for me, is living somewhere safe, somewhere I'm happy, somewhere with people who act and dress like normal human beings, and a town that is close to a lot of things and has much better public transportation. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful to finally live somewhere I'm happy, and it's really almost the best, really is the best Christmas gift of all. But there are plenty of people, other people out there that are still struggling, you know, in many different ways, and my heart goes out to them, and we can't forget about them. And I think, you know, as I look around me, I think a lot of people have lost the meaning of Christmas. I've talked about this before. People are too materialistic. They're too obsessed with money, you know, especially here on Long Island. Maybe it's different where you are. But here on Long Island, it seems that people just love money, and, you know, and especially in certain areas now. You know, if I stay out of certain areas, generally I'm okay with that. I don't run into those kind of people. But if you do go to the South Shore, and I was actually in my old neighborhood where I grew up, actually, because I saw my relative the other day, and we went to shopping at Kohl's. And let me tell you, don't go to Kohl's, because Kohl's is now a rich people's store. All the prices are high. And so we went in Levittown. That's where I grew up, you know, that whole area, Levittown, Wantor. It was just full of rude people just pushing each other, trying to hit you when you cross the street, you know, trying to just, you know, get in your face, you know. And a lot of these women that are walking around are like little Ivanka Trumps, you know. Ivanka Trump is exactly what's wrong with women today. Very preppy, very selfish, walking around like they were little princesses, you know, and that's the kind of attitude you experience on the South Shore in those areas. And you know, and then the men, just everybody's trying to hit you with their Mercedes or Audis or Infiniti cars, and it gets ridiculous, really, you know. So people have lost the meaning of Christmas. A lot of people have lost the meaning of Christmas. It's unfortunate, it really is. You know, Christmas is supposed to be about love. It's supposed to be about helping one another. It's not supposed to be about money. It's not supposed to be about all these luxury stuff. You know, we live in a world that is too obsessed with luxury things. You know, now, I'm not going to say that people don't have a right to have luxury things. Of course, people have a right to have luxury things. But when their life revolves around luxury, it's a bit of a problem. And this country of ours is heading in that direction. You know, I touched on what I think of our president. Obviously, he has greatly disappointed me. And I have a video for you. Actually, when I saw my relative, we took a drive through my old town, Westbury. And it's worse than ever. It was more depressing than ever. All you saw were people just swagger walking around. It just looks like the ghetto, you know, the kind of element you have there. And I could have still been stuck there, and I don't know what I would have done. But thank God, and this is why I believe in God. You know, a lot of people, they don't want to believe in God. I can't force you to believe in God, but I can tell you this. Look at how fortunate we are here. You know, I'm fortunate. God was looking out for me and got me out of Westbury. All right. I think that our human race has been very lucky in a lot of ways. God is looking out there for us. All right. And Christmas is about the birth of Jesus Christ. All right. That's what Christmas is about. All right. It's not about buying a new Mercedes or a new Infiniti or all that other stuff. It's about the birth of Jesus Christ. It's about looking out for your fellow human being, all right? You know, because we are all in this together. And I think that we need to put aside, especially this problem. Now, people will say, oh, John, you hate rich people. And how many times do I have to say I don't hate rich people? What I don't like are people who think that their money makes them better than everybody else. And I've said it over and over again. This is a common problem, not so much in the richest areas of Long Island, believe it or not. It's more of a common problem along that Babylon branch, along the South Shore. These are people that have gotten their money through, offices. They're basically working in firms in the city, in finance, banks, Wall Street. And you know, that kind of corporate culture kind of turns people into these kind of arrogant people, you know. Whereas other rich people like doctors, they have to take a lot of school to get where they're at. They have to work very hard to get where they're at. And doctors serve a very important role because they save lives, especially surgeons. Surgeons get paid very well. They save people's lives. That's very important. And they deserve to get paid well and drive luxury cars and have a big home and all that stuff. But people who who are involved in this whole Wall Street thing. I'm not into it. I don't see it, and I said it again. People can do what they want with their lives. If they want to do that, that's fine, but just because you do that, just because look at these people down on the South Shore. They walk like this, like, yeah, I work on Wall Street. I get on that Babylon branch and I have my own special train. I don't have to sit next to anyone. I have my own seat every day. Yeah, I'm really important. I got this Audi A3 here. I'm really important. And that's the problem that I have. All right? They could do that. They don't have to act like that. That's the point I'm trying to make, but they do. Which is why I don't really go to the South Shore that much anymore. I don't go there because it's just too obnoxious over there. It really is. It's a shame, but we wound up actually going and doing some clothes. My uncle got me some clothes at Sears. Sears is struggling, all right. But let me tell you something. Sears has much better prices. They have a lot of sales, and I really want Sears to succeed. They're a store of my childhood and a store of my generation, and I don't want to see them go anywhere. We've lost too many things already from our generation. The other thing, of course, we're going to talk about here, the Pine Barrens. Unfortunately, our governor, I'm not surprised that our governor vetoed that bill because he didn't sign it right away, which told me something, that he had a problem with it. So he did veto it against the will of the people. That's not surprising. Governor Cuomo, let me tell you something, he is nothing like his father. Andrew Cuomo is a Wall Street Democrat, like Chuck Schumer. They're only looking out for the rich, all right? They're all sitting there, and, Cuomo in one breath is saying how much he doesn't like Trump, but he's really just like Trump, all right? It's the same, they're cut from the same cloth. Arrogant, money-loving, Wall Street kind of people, all right? And they're not looking out for us. They're not looking out for the Pine Barrens, that's for sure. So he cares more about what Jerry Rosengarten thinks, the guy who owns this property out in Mastic, who wants to knock down the woods and build a solar farm. He cares more about what he thinks than what almost 99.9% of the people of the state think, all right? Which tells you something, all right? It's really a shame, and he'll be running again in 2018, and I really hope he doesn't get reelected. He probably will, but I really hope he doesn't, So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to cover everything that's been going on. But I think that's almost it. Again, I'm just so grateful. But I'm going to continue to talk about Nice Bus and the public transportation problems. I have to talk about the Long Island Railroad waiting room hours because, let's face it, no one else is talking about these issues. The only other people beside myself that are talking about the Pine Barrens are the Long Island Pine Barrens Authority. As far as Nice Bus goes, nobody's talking about that. And it continues to get worse with buses missing, and I don't even bother taking it. It's to the point where I just have to avoid it at all costs because it's just so bad right now. But I'm hoping when Laura Curran takes office that MTA will come back. Yeah, a lot of people doubt it, but the fact is the bus service in Nassau can't continue the way it is. It's a disaster right now, right? And it's going to get to the point of critical mass where something is going to have to be done. Something is going to have to be done because it's totally unreliable. It's disrupting people's lives. It's hurting the economy. And that's the last thing I want to bring up. The Republicans passed the tax bill. Trump signed it into law yesterday. Some things I don't agree with it, but they're saying that it's going to bring down the home values on Long Island because it's going to hurt the people who pay high taxes on their homes. It's basically going to hurt the very people I just ranted about earlier in this video. Just a couple minutes ago. It's going to hurt them, and it's actually going to lower their property values. And that's what we need. We need the home prices to come down in Long Island so more people can afford to live in safe areas. All right, I thank my lucky stars I got out of Westbury, but there are other people that are trapped in Westbury and other towns like it, and my heart goes out to them. It's not fair that they have to live there. It's not fair. No one should have to be forced to live in a town with a bunch of criminals. And let me just lastly say, and I've talked about this in my Westbury video, I'm not out to bash Westbury or hate Westbury or anything like that. But a problem is right now Westbury isn't improving. It's only getting worse. And the theater is in trouble there. There's a lot of problems there. It's getting worse. It's becoming Newcastle. There's a lot of denial about it. But the fact is, in order to fix it, we have to address these problems. It's just like when you have an addiction and you're an alcoholic. You have to first realize you have a problem. And right now, the people who run Westbury don't realize that they even have a problem. And you have to take that first step. Once you realize that there's a problem, then you can work on fixing it. But until then, you're never going to improve it. It's only going to get worse. And I know a few people who live there. One guy who owns a business, and he's struggling. And my heart goes out to them, because it's not fair what's going on. It's not fair. They should be getting more from their village, and they're not. Instead, they're just getting the same old problems, and the village continues to slide downhill, despite what the spin from the mayor's office and from various media outlets like Newsday say. But again, the best Christmas gift I could ever have is getting out of Westbury, and it's the best thing that ever happened in my life in quite some time. Anyway, I appreciate it every day that I live somewhere safe, that I'm happy. I thank God every day. But anyway, I think that brings this video to the end. So I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, and more videos from the Pine Barrens, hopefully. And once again, my condolences go out to everybody in the Seattle transportation community, my friend PNW Elevator, and Zach's family, for this tragedy that happened out there with the train accident. And people lost their lives, and it's really sad. But we got to make sure that things like this stop happening. It's happening too much, too many train accidents. There's no reason for this, no reason at all. It doesn't have to be that way. I think that's what I'll leave it at. All these problems in the world, it doesn't have to be that way. There's a song, actually, one of my favorite Christmas songs, actually, is by Jim Croce, and called "It Doesn't Have to Be That Way." And you definitely take a listen to it. It really is a great song. But anyway, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. And take care.